Welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. And I'm Santiago C. Carrata, President and CEO of Visit Tampa Bay. In the heart of Tampa Bay, history, culture, and incredible dining collide. With endless blue skies and glistening waterfronts, Tampa Bay boasts a bright tapestry of cultures, and it's reflected in our diverse culinary landscape. This year, the third annual Michelin Guide to Florida event was hosted right here in Tampa Bay. The Tampa Edition Hotel was filled with anticipation as we waited to hear who would be added to the 2024 Michelin Guide to Florida. This recognition has brought endless opportunities to Tampa Bay, and we can't wait to see what's in store. In this episode, you'll hear from two restaurateurs whose work is officially recognized in the Michelin Guide North America. As usual, take it away, Serena.
Thank you so much, Santiago, and welcome to this episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I'm Serena Fazan, and yes, we are uncovering Michelin marvels from a boutique hotel inspired by residential flair to a culinary hotspot bursting with authentic flavor. Let's spice things up and begin with Chef Michael Brannock, chef of Streetlight Taco. Oh my gosh, only been open since 2024. And are you kidding? It's fantastic. You already have the Bib Gourmand award?
We're super excited, honored. So many awards to describe this.
Congratulations on behalf of all of us. So tell us about your beautiful restaurant and this award.
Yeah, the restaurant we wanted to have, it's an open kitchen. So that's from an environment standpoint. We wanted it to be lively and a little noisy and have all the energy from the kitchen because we wanted to show what we were about. And that really starts with the corn and using heirloom corn from Mexico that we cook ourselves. We have a Molino in the back, which is stone mill, and we wanted to have all that open to show everyone, and that's why we're excited to welcome and always show what we're up to.
100%. And we're going to delve into the restaurant in just more into the restaurant in just a moment. But getting this award, right? So again, you just open your doors in January of 2024, and this is your first restaurant, like a lifelong dream. So how did you find out? And what were you thinking? Because this is such a prestigious award, only one of four, right?
Yeah,
in the state right now?
One of four to receive a new one this year, and only one of four in Tampa to have a Bib Gourmand. It's just being listed and on the radar. First of all, it was, I don't want to say shocking. We were hoping to be on the radar at some point, but so quick was definitely a surprise, and such a pleasant surprise because it really opened our doors to people from all over. And once we got news of the Bib Gourmand, then of course it's just like another level up, that we were in a new category as far as like people searching us out and wanting to visit the restaurant to have that distinction.
Well, I mean, word is spreading like wildfire. In fact, here's what I'm hearing. People just get off an airplane and they're rolling in with their suitcases into your restaurant. And where is your restaurant?
4004 Henderson Boulevard in South Tampa. The suitcases, I love to see that. That's people kind of the mindset that I would be, because I would want to do that myself if I was traveling to somewhere, from somewhere, to seek out the best restaurants. And when someone rolls up with a suitcase, it just really makes me happy because I know they made that extra effort to come visit us.
Well, it just, we are Visit Tampa Bay, and we're talking about tourism and, highlighting the best of the area. And I know your restaurant, of course, is geared towards locals and tourists. But to already get so much visibility in such short time, it's so much, part of it is your authentic food, right? Because you also, it's very complimentary. Tell people what you hear about it's true Mexican food.
Yeah, one thing as I was concepting the restaurant and kicking around ideas with our partners is I personally wanted to have people from Mexico visit and kind of give me the two thumbs up. And that happens a lot. We've got regulars from Mexico or first generation Americans. And so that's one thing that I really wanted to stand on and be able to have those flavors that are true to Mexico. And if you've been there, you have a bite and it kind of transport you back. But that's one of my big goals for the restaurant for sure.
Well, it's so interesting too on how you opened a Mexican themed inspired
Hmm.
restaurant. So you're from a little town in from North Carolina, Sparta, less than 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And so I mean, there probably weren't that many restaurants, right, in Sparta?
No, just a couple of fast food spots. And I've always been around food. I've gardened my entire life. And that was just kind of seeing it from literal seed all the way through to canning it with my grandmothers and cooking. And yeah, Mexico is just a food that I've fallen in love with way back.
That's so sweet though. Like with both of your grandmothers.
Hmm.
Did you so at that very tender age, did you know in your life that I wanted a career involving cooking or
I actually know I wasn't quite sure what I wanted. I was pretty good in the sciences. I like that, but I've always loved to eat first and foremost. And of course, cooking and gardening go hand in hand with that. It's just other arms of eating at the end of the day. And the food has a lot of power, of course, too. So whether it's family or friends, just sharing some food is really powerful, no matter who you're with.
isn't it something you always remember? You know what?
Yeah.
You always remember that moment. You know, food is, I know, I always say on the record, I don't eat to live, I live to eat.
It's a good lifestyle. So I agree with you. If you just think of think of how many senses food kind of fires away at with your brain. You're touching, you're tasting, you're smelling it, you're sometimes hearing it, and of course tasting. But yeah, just to be able to share some food is
so many
important.
emotions,
Yeah.
many emotions behind it. So here you are then, you go to college and you stay in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so you have friends and you end up working at a Carrabba's.
Spanish was my favorite
Mm-hmm.
class growing up, so I had a good Spanish knowledge more than most of my friends. And at Carrabba's, the entire kitchen staff were Mexican. I hit it off with them. There's just like a personality of it's kind of hard to describe, but you're always joking like family and friends, and there's like this connection that I had because that's kind of the mentality I had growing up with my family, and so we hit it off and we're friends. I would, go to the parties and etc.
Learn more and more and more about the food.
For sure.
And so then when did you start? So you had a great career, with many companies. When did you start traveling to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
When did you decide, you know what, I'm going to open my own restaurant?
Well, I had dreamed about it for a while, but it takes a heavy lift for that. So I let my career kind of progress, and thankfully I worked with people throughout the years that spotted my talents, usually before I did.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's important to have that because they see more in you from a talent side than you realize yourself at the time. So I've always been thankful to be around people like that, and after my career at Bloomin' Brands kind of led me into the corporate chef position at PDQ, and
by this time you're in Tampa,
we're
right?
in Tampa,
you're in Tampa. So about 12 years ago, you first arrived in Tampa.
And then moving on to Streetlight and how that becomes reality. I would honestly just cook tacos and Mexican food a lot for meetings and such at the office because we wanted to have something different, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I've always been passionate about. And probably 4.5 years ago, one of our partners said, "Hey, we should do a taco place sometime."
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you? I mean, honestly, when you think about it, how things just come to fruition. So here you are cooking for the meetings, and you make tacos. Wow.
Yeah, I remember I would make carnitas a lot. I would anything I dive into, I want to do fully. So I ordered the copper kettle from Mexico that carnitas are cooked in. I watch tons of YouTube videos, cookbooks, etc. Again, if I call it something with the Mexican name, I want to make sure I'm backing it up all that I can. And so I would make pots of carnitas for our meetings. I would learn about new dishes that were a little deeper undercover and share that. And like I said,
It's such an inspiring story,
Mhm.
that and how dreams come true. So they say, all right, maybe we should open a restaurant with tacos. So then is that when you start traveling to Mexico? And how did you come
Yeah.
up with the name Streetlight Taco?
Yeah, I wanted to be able to transport, like I mentioned earlier. So I visited Mexico 8 times in a couple of years, and um, really just sometimes I would have an agenda, sometimes not. I would just hit it,
Uh-huh.
and you can find some really cool things in Mexico. There's so much to talk about from a hospitality standpoint. Uh, the answer is always yes when I ask stuff, and like I said, the hospitality is amazing.
Just so
Yeah,
wonderful and heartwarming. And
for sure.
so then you open your doors, and Streetlight came from
Yeah, well, back to the where all the action
Uh-huh.
is. You have the taco stalls, all the street
Mhm.
vendors, the markets, and the street light is just kind of above that. And in Mexico, for the most part, especially Mexico City, the action doesn't start happening until the nighttime, and
Oh.
so the street light represents kind of everything under it, because there's a lot of amazing restaurants in Mexico, but there's also uh, tens or hundreds of thousands of these small street vendors, and some of them drive or ride for an hour or two just to set up, and so that's the kind of bites that I hope to recreate.
Well, the name too is fantastic. It just is
Yeah.
so much of the allure of the restaurant. So with the restaurant on the menu, you have a variety of everything handcrafted, right? All fresh ingredients. It's so interesting. Now, how many ingredients would you say like it takes to make like one taco? There's
Oof.
several, right? You can't even count.
Yeah, it's a lot. We spend a lot of time in prep. There's really no shortcut I take. And like I mentioned, the corn. If we're gonna buy this amazing corn, various colors and
Mhm.
varieties, and take the time to learn to mill it and make really nice masa, everything I put on that tortilla, I want to be equal justice. I want to make sure that I don't just put something without a lot of thought on the tortilla. So one of my favorite compliments is every dish has its own identity, and there's
Oh.
not things recycled and repurposed and just okay, this one was chicken, but this was steak, but it's the same thing basically, right? So I always love to hear that each taco, each dish has a very unique path and identity.
So, Chef, it sounds so amazing. Can you dive deeper into the process when it comes to the corn?
Sourcing, first of all, we buy a lot from Mexico, and the corn is definitely the most weight we buy. Last truck I got 1,800 pounds in.
1,800 pounds?
Yeah, and back to the hospitality in Mexico. One trip, the owner of the company, Tamoa is the name of it. I said, "Hey, can we grab coffee? I'm gonna be in town." And so he, of course, grabbed coffee with me, and we spent like an hour and a half just talking about our backgrounds and passion. And so the corn is from various small family farms. A lot of people think of corn pretty singular, and then it's white and yellow, sweet. But Mexico has 59 varieties that are indigenous.
59 varieties.
Yeah, officially, they're still discovering new varieties that they're mapping. And so we buy the corn. The foundation of Mexican food is fresh nixtamalized corn, straight from the Molino or the mill. And so the corn is cooked, it's rested, it's cooked in an alkaline solution. This originally was done with ashes from the campfire.
Wow.
And at some point it was realized that the ash, this will penetrate calcium into the corn, it converts other nutrients, it makes it super healthy. And so that's the process of nixtamalization. It's a very old word from the Nahuatl language, but
Fascinating.
yeah,
And do you mix all the corn together, like all the different types of corn, like the white corn, the yellow corn? I mean, I know, is it all made together?
sometimes we do. I try to do a tie-dye effect, if you will, on the tortillas. So usually we'll have 2 different varieties, and it really isn't a schedule. Whatever bag we come to next is what we pick up. And there's some that are pink, some that are blue, some that are
Wow.
purple, yellow, white. We opened up one the other day that was nearly black. It was such a dark purple, it was almost black. And so that's why the tortillas are always changing. And that's something we're excited about to talk about the corn and show off that Molino in the process.
So with the process then, and do you, okay, with the colors of the corn and the bags that you get, do you sometimes not know what's coming? Like you get it from all these farmers. And so is it a surprise when you open up the bags?
They'll have a list of what's available. So whatever they've gotten in from the latest harvest or round of shipment. And then I'll just buy equal amounts of each one. Sometimes the yellow or the white may look a little more boring, but I make sure I get equal amounts of each because they're all amazing. And so that's really how I usually know what I'm getting. But sometimes there'll be a variety I haven't worked with before, and that's fun too to see how it cooks and then what the end process looks like too with the tortilla.
Are you the only one who has the special machinery for the corn? Or the special setup for the corn?
At least to this scale, if you looked it up on even a national scale, there aren't many. It might be a couple dozen total that have a Molino like this. We had a Molino builder in Los Angeles make it, who was recommended me from the corn company, and it's a pretty small group of restaurants that do that. But again, that's the pure foundation of Mexican cooking.
Yeah, and it's such the charm and, such a huge draw to the restaurant. And I loved how you said that you are a very open restaurant. You're at the restaurant a lot, and anybody who wants to come and see the process, they are more than welcome to. Is it a long process?
It cooks about an hour. You'll hear some people say 35 minutes, some people say 2 hours. I'm taking a nixtamal class before in Mexico City, just to, and again, YouTube videos and on and on. So I wouldn't say it's a long process. There's some touch to it, of course, because at the end, you want that tortilla to behave a certain way. And the perfect tortillas will puff. They'll be very smooth. Corn tortillas have a bad reputation, no doubt about it, because most Americans are used to the smelly things on the shelf that are, kind of like pieces of rubber. A really good corn tortilla will be as soft as linen almost sometimes. And the flavor and texture is incredible as well.
Do you start early in the morning then? Like every day, or do you?
Yeah, we get started with the prep at 6 a.m. That way we can use our equipment on the line and then have everyone be able to open up for lunch, the lunch shift.
Fantastic. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not ask you this. Oftentimes, when you're enjoying a great meal, you may want a really nice cocktail.
We have you covered.
Bar is incredible, and some of your specialty drinks. Can you talk about that?
It would be a crime almost to not have a really good spirit program, specifically the agave spirits, and to not be able to pair that with the food would be a big mistake. So we wanted to make sure we had a very solid bar program. A lot of the agave spirits being mezcal, tequila. Everyone's familiar with tequila, and mezcal has been surging hugely in popularity. And after visiting Mexico so much, you realize that mezcal is like the people's drink. There's sayings around mezcal. There's signs. There's for every there's one basically that says for everything bad mezcal, for everything good also. And so we have a really good mezcal list. Some of the ones we carry, I've actually visited myself in Oaxaca, or we've had visitors here to Tampa, and I'm still adding more visits, hopefully soon, in the mezcal and the tequila realm. To be able to see that process is really incredible as well. To just understand a little bit of the manual hard labor that goes into it, how much of a lifestyle it is, how much it means to those families and generations, and then just to be able to talk about that product is incredible for me as well.
So are there some signature drinks that you would definitely, though, recommend?
We have a lot of margaritas. We have about 10 or 12 signature cocktails as well.
Mm.
The coconut margarita is top notch. We do a passion fruit one, which I love. It's made with the mezcal versus tequila. We have one guava and gin drink called La Pasión. It's made with a Mexican gin, actually.
Wow.
And that one, those three are kind of on the fruit side, but our other margaritas, the Classico, the Reposado, the Spicy, we sell tons of them. So
it sounds so amazing.
It's truly what you're feeling like. I tell people with the food, if it sounds good, just go for it, because they tell me it doesn't disappoint. And I like to, just share what other guests say. And on the cocktail side, they rave about our cocktails and our margarita program as well.
I also want to ask, we have a lot of restaurants that, will like do a Taco Tuesday or Taco Thursday, or, want play off the teas. Do you guys do anything like that?
I wanted to have something available. So we actually offered a taco on Tuesday that isn't available on the menu.
Oh.
So it's only available for that day. And so those have ranged from one called Alambre, which is from Mexico City. We did a chorizo and egg taco. We did a chicken milanesa taco. So it varies. That's one thing we do. And then we'll often do a cocktail as well that is only available that day. So that's our way of doing something special.
Can people see what is that called with the corn? The apparatus or the
Molino?
Oh, the Molino.
Yeah, the mill. Yeah,
so the mill. So can people actually see it at work?
Yeah, of course. Well, we mill in the morning. That way we can tidy up and then get all the masa portioned. Some days we're portioning 1,000 or more for tortillas.
1,000 or more.
Yeah, and
That's
so
incredible.
Open kitchen, like I said, everything's there, and I'll often point to the Molino in the back of the restaurant. And if anyone is ever interested beyond that, I'm happy to walk them back there. I do it all the time, and I'll open it up and show the two stones that turn against each other, and again, sharing the kitchen is a fun part.
That's so wonderful. And you have a great little helper. Maybe he's related to you, 7-year-old Riley,
Yeah.
right?
He gets back there sometimes, but he likes to tell me when stuff doesn't have enough salt. So that's one of his skills for sure. But he comes by. We have a good kids menu, because I understand with him you don't want the veto vote, and families are very important. So he'll come by and have his cheeseburger and tell me if the cheeseburger has enough salt on it or not.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
So it's very family friendly. And at this point, the only day you guys are closed are Monday. I mean, that could change, but for now.
Yeah. We're glad we built that in. So we have a little bit of break time, but we're happy to be open to 6 for lunch and dinner.
So I know all the food is amazing and fantastic, but if you were telling our viewers, our listeners out there, is there a must try, or do you have a favorite?
If I'm like pushed into 2 dishes, I would say one, the carnitas tacos, back to like being really true to Mexico, from the corn, the pork, the salsa on it, everything. And the semita sandwich, we do have a sandwich on the menu. Something else I wanted to do is showcase more dishes, because sometimes we're very narrow-minded and thinking Mexican food is tacos, burritos, enchiladas, and quesadillas. But
you have a sandwich.
We have a sandwich from Puebla called semita. Again, a lot of people have heard of tortas, but not many have heard of semitas, which is popular in that state. And then Mexico is the neighboring state next to it. And so you'll see that in Mexico City as well. And we go to great lengths with that sandwich to do it justice. We have the bun made locally,
Wow.
Jameson Bakehouse, just for that sandwich. The mayonnaise we make from scratch, fresh avocado, the cheese on it we stretch ourselves, the chipotle peppers on it I cook just like I was taught by a lady in Puebla, who I have her apron hanging in the restaurant.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's an herb on it as well that's grown just for us in California and shipped to Tampa once a week.
That's incredible.
There's a lot, and that's a lot of our dishes. We go to that length for sure.
It's making me hungry. Is it time to eat yet? So Chef Michael, you've been here now for about 12 years, right? And we are Visit Tampa Bay. So can you believe, I love it. We're on fire.
Yeah, totally. It seems like there's always good news around the corner if you're a foodie and love to see the growth and just the magnetism Tampa Bay has for many reasons.
So what do you think that means? I mean, I feel are on the global map, of course. You've known this. You've traveled to Mexico. You have people coming in with their suitcases. What do you think restaurants like Streetlight Taco and the unique flavors that they offer, what type of message does that send to the world?
Yeah, that we're rising. We're on that stage. We're ready to show what we have to everyone, and we're happy to get those visitors and welcome them with the hospitality here in Tampa.
Do you have, I mean, isn't it so cool though to hear Chef Michael? I mean, your first restaurant wins a Bib Gourmand. I mean, already there, that's huge. But so do you have a dream? You've already, I mean, your dream came true with Streetlight Taco, but beyond that, do you have?
I mean, for sure, there's always next phases and dreams to keep moving forward. Again, there's so much food in Mexico that maybe one day to do something else that focus on more of the food or whatever the case is. Anyone that's not been there, I always encourage them to travel and check it out. It's very underrated. So any chance I get to continue to show more of that is always exciting.
Could we see more Streetlight Tacos, more than one location down the line?
Yeah, I mean, never say never. We're super excited and proud of what we have in the works. It's only been 4 months at this point, and we just want to make sure that the momentum stays in place. So right now the focus is continuing to receive a lot of new guests. We have a lot of people coming in for the first time still, and making sure that experience is what everyone else expects now.
Well, clearly 1,000, right? 1,000, almost 1,000 tortillas. In closing, do you have any words of inspiration for someone out there, that might want to open a restaurant? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I go back to a phrase I used to hear at a previous job is about you promote yourself. And I think that's important, that if you keep your head down and stay focused and diligent, then you usually aren't the one getting promoted. You're the one promoting yourself. And that's how I've always felt, that I never really went out and I guess I just kept working, and you surround yourself with good people, successful people, make sure you're in that position, and your talents will be noticed, your passion will be noticed, and for your dreams to come true.
Well, wonderful, wonderful words of advice. Chef Michael Brannock, what an honor to meet you. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on Unlocking Tampa Bay.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. We are continuing the conversation on Michelin Marvels. It's my pleasure to introduce Brendan Perry. You are the hotel manager at Palihouse that just recently opened in Hyde Park. That's my neighborhood, actually. Brendan, welcome to Unlocking Tampa Bay.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
And I have to say also, welcome to Tampa. You moved here from California, and we're going to get to your history in just a moment. But your hotel just received the Michelin Key.
Very exciting, right?
Tell us about that, and how did you find out?
Yeah, right. So, this is the first year that Michelin actually gave away these Michelin Keys. And, a few months back, we heard that we'd been rated by Michelin. We didn't know what that meant. We didn't know if we got it or not. We're kind of on pins and needles. And about a month ago, it was released that we received this Michelin Key, which means that we're a special and unique hotel that is basically guaranteed to give you an exceptional stay.
Isn't that incredible, though? I mean, it's so exciting. One of only 2 hotels right in the Bay Area, in the first year that they're launching the Michelin Key.
Exactly. Yeah, we're one of 2, which is really huge, especially coming from a hotel that opened just this year. So,
and we'll mention that the Edition, which is also a partner here at Visit Tampa Bay, received the other key. Brendan, though, back to you. So this is truly amazing. This is also, you're only 29 years old, right?
Right.
And you've been with the Palihouse group for a while, but this is your first hotel that you opened?
Yeah, it's my first opening. Yeah, that's why I was so excited to do it.
So tell us about it. The Palihouse. Tell us about the history of the Palihouse and choosing Tampa as a location.
Right. So, Pali goes back to, our first hotel was in West Hollywood, and it was a Palihouse just like ours is, where now we have several hotel brands within our larger brands. But yeah, starting in Los Angeles, we started growing there initially, opening a few more hotels and growing more and more. And the past 2 years have actually been our biggest growth. And we opened our newest hotel. It's our 19th hotel now here in Tampa, and we couldn't be more excited to be included in the city.
And I've got to give so many kudos to you. So you started out with this group at the front desk, right? And you're born and raised in California.
Exactly, yeah.
So you climb up the ranks. And then you hear, okay, Tampa could be a spot. Mm-hmm. You take the story from there. Why did you want to come here?
Right. So, let's go back to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. I'm there running one of our hotels and just kind of going, what's next for me? I can keep staying here in Los Angeles, but, I hear murmurs that we're opening a hotel in Hyde Park Village. And I go, hey, I'm 29. I'm single, no pets, no kids, if not now, then when? Let's make this jump across the country and open our new hotel.
That is so admirable. Truly is. And so isn't Hyde Park so precious? And what's so unique about your hotel, what it seems that you have done, you have taken that residential flair of Hyde Park and the charm and really have built it into the hotel.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the pattern with the hotel group, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We like to say we're neighborhood centric. So all of our hotels are planted within a thriving and fun neighborhood, special neighborhoods. Ours specifically is within Hyde Park Village, where you step outside the door and there's shops, restaurants, and it's this beautiful outdoor new mall that we're included in. And it's this really special state where you can park your car with us and you don't even have to leave the neighborhood. Everything you need is right there. And, quick walk to downtown, right? You can go to the arena, see a Lightning game or the big concert at the arena, or Bay Shore is just a couple blocks down. You can go take a walk on Bay Shore, which is truly something special that is here in Tampa. So not just that, but all of our hotels are kind of like that, where for example, our hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, you step outside the door and you can hop the trolley and go around the city. Or our hotels in LA, one of my favorites is called the Silver Lake Pool and Inn. And this hotel has this rooftop pool, and you can look and see the Hollywood sign and the Griffith Observatory right from the rooftop.
It sounds amazing. It sounds amazing, and it sounds like such great decisions on where to put the hotels.
Right.
It's probably, it's like the piece. Don't you feel that Hyde Park needed to pull it all together? It's so wonderful to have a hotel. And that is, personally for me, that means so much too, because I've been here for 24 years and to see the growth, it's just amazing. It's truly so special that you opened your doors in Hyde Park Village.
Oh yeah, no, it's great to be the first hotel in Hyde Park Village, right? We're making our mark here.
And what do you think that says, actually, in the village?
Right. It's convenience, and it's it's just special to be in such a thriving neighborhood, really.
And honestly, it seems to me that there are more and more stores opening. That must be really exciting for you to also see.
No, things are going to be growing around us, just like how we were something that grew around the other shops and everything that's there in Hyde Park Village.
And your hotel, so there's 36 rooms. Mm-hmm. And tell us about some because I do love fashion. So on the record, what have you included, the theme that you've included in your hotel that makes it unique?
Right. So we love to brag about the Hermes scarves that line the walls of our hotel. And it's a personal collection of them, and they're really special. And, from the moment you walk in, my favorite is actually on the first floor in the entrance of the lobby. But our walls, the hallways to the guest rooms, and even a few around the lounge and the downstairs lobby have Hermes scarves that are framed because, typically people wear them like this, but if you put them behind a frame, people don't think it's a scarf until they go up to it. First, they think it's a painting.
Yes, it's just such a piece of artwork.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Do you know why they chose the Hermes scarf for this particular hotel?
Right. Well, I can't say, but our CEO and founder, Avi Brosh, he is our head designer as well. And he's kind of the mastermind of all of our design choices. Some people ask, hey, why do you have a vase of tennis balls behind your front desk? I don't know, but it fits and it looks great and it's so much fun. So, it's all up here when it comes to Avi's design choices.
Wow, and it makes it so memorable. Don't you think? Like each single hotel is memorable.
Yeah.
So, where exactly is the hotel located? And this hotel, you're drawing not only on the tourists that come into Tampa, but it's very local centered.
Exactly. Yeah. So, where the hotel is, we're on Swan Avenue, which is smack dab in the middle of Hyde Park Village. So, we're on the second floor. We take up a whole second floor of a building. So if you know where maybe On Swan is, that's one of my favorite restaurants out here. We're above On Swan there. And you really step outside the door, across the street, and there's all of your Hyde Park Village shops and restaurants right there.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And so with just, been open not for too long of a time, have you seen it grow in popularity? Because tell us about some of the food you have there.
Yeah. So, not only do we have the hotel with 36 rooms, but we have our lobby bar and lounge, and that's open to the neighborhood, which is really fun. And that's where we're starting to see the word of mouth really spreading around town and getting a lot of our locals in. So our lobby bar and lounge, we have an all-day menu. My favorite is our breakfast and brunch, personally. It's so good. But we also do happy hour from 3 to 6 on Thursdays. It's all evening long, so you got to come on Thursdays so you can have a more fun time with us all night. But we do, everything from, let's start with breakfast. My favorite is the muffin, which is our take on an Eggs Benedict. Really good. But something special that I haven't seen anywhere in Hyde Park is our bruleed grapefruit.
Bruleed grapefruit.
Yeah. Can you imagine what that looks like?
Oh my gosh. Can you expand on that a little bit?
So imagine like a half grapefruit that we take a torch to and we caramelize the top of and we garnish it and, you eat it with a spoon and it's delicious. But you're not going to see that in any other restaurants here.
I know. I've never even heard of a bruleed grapefruit.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And you said the burgers there are also awesome.
We're getting a lot of talk on our burgers. This is controversial, but what we're hearing is that we have the best burger in Hyde Park.
Wow.
That's big talks when there's a lot of good restaurants around. So, you'll have to come and try that for yourself.
Absolutely. I can't wait to come in and try it.
Yeah.
And speaking of coming in and trying things, so we are Visit Tampa Bay and we talk about, Tampa is on fire.
Yeah.
So coming from someone who moved here from California, how do you feel about Tampa?
Right. So, Tampa's a dynamic city and, it's obvious that it's evolving and it's open to evolving every day. And so Pali really wanted to be a part of that. And honestly, I have the same point of view. Coming here, you're seeing things, new restaurants. Look at all these Michelin star restaurants that we have in this city. And it's growing and it's evolving and it's important to be a part of that.
We were talking to Chef Michael with Streetlight Taco right before you. And he was saying that people are literally, getting off the airplane and pulling in with a suitcase. Now, of course, you do expect that at a hotel because you're checking in. Have you seen that though? Can you elaborate that on about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. When it comes to word of mouth with our hotel specifically and our lobby lounge, you'll see. I had a conversation with a guest just the other day where first she came in and she's like, "Hey, I just was looking at the menu box that you guys put outside and decided to come up and check it out." We give her a room tour, she sees what our guest rooms look like. She tries one of our espresso martinis that we're so famous for, and next day she comes back with her mom.
Wow.
And she's like, hey, we're doing mom and daughter date tonight, and so then we're starting to see people bringing their friends in and showing them, look at this hidden gem that's right here in Hyde Park. And it's growing every day. I could tell you 100 stories like that.
No, but those, I mean, gosh, they touch the heart, don't they?
It does.
They absolutely touch the heart. So would you encourage the Palihouse also as a staycation?
Oh,
for
absolutely.
guests?
Yeah, no, we get a lot of staycationers, and that's across our whole brand. Because when someone discovers us, they go, wait, this is special, and this is a different kind of hotel stay that is going to get me out of my apartment, see a new pair of four walls, and puts me in a great neighborhood, a convenient neighborhood that I can enjoy my city in and maybe see the city I live in a new light.
Well, circling back to the Michelin Key and the hotel receiving the Michelin Key, what do you think that says as a whole? I think we are making a serious global footprint as well.
Absolutely. And not just that, the Michelin Key is kind of like our trophy prize right now. But, we've also made travel and leisures at It List. We've also been included in Hemisphere Magazine, which is a huge magazine. And we're seeing all this notoriety. And being a stamp on Tampa in that sense is really special to us. And it shows us that, we're included in such a thriving city.
And don't you feel that being included in something like that, it not only helps with tourism, but it also helps the local growth and economy here?
It does. Exactly.
Can you share your thoughts on that, Brendan?
It's putting us on the map, right? It's, people, not everybody knows that Tampa is such a fun city. We have so much to offer, and whether it's Palihouse being there or, people come to eat at specific Michelin star restaurants, and they'll come to Tampa just to try Roca, right? And so, or some of the other awesome restaurants that we have that have a Michelin star. So to be a hotel that has a Michelin Key that people are going to be specifically coming to the city for, I think that's something truly special, right?
Very special.
Yeah.
And so what is next for Palihouse?
Next, that's a big question, especially since we opened just in November. But what we want to do is just, firmly plant ourselves in the city here and keep growing within the city and within the neighborhood of Hyde Park Village, and just become a staple of where we are, and, get people to know about us and appreciate us, which I think is, we're off to a great start with that.
Yes, absolutely. And so is there 24-hour access into the hotel right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always have somebody at our front desk to assist, that we always say that. When it comes to the bar and lounge, that opens at 7 a.m. in the morning for breakfast. And again, that's open to everybody. And on the weekdays, our bar closes at 10 p.m. On the weekends, 11 p.m.
It sounds wonderful. Yeah. So now let's talk about Brendan Perry just for a few minutes.
Sure.
So is Tampa what you expected, and what's on the horizon for you?
Right. No, Tampa is all that I expected and more, honestly. I came out here just to try something new. I did a little bit of research on Hyde Park, specifically in the neighborhood. That's where I live too. I thought it was a gorgeous city, but once I got out here, I realized that it has the best of both worlds, which is a thriving downtown area while also having some of the more quiet suburban areas. And you get the best of both worlds with that. And I love, some of the sites that I don't have in Los Angeles, like our Bay. Bay Shore is about a 3-minute walk from my door. So I love walking that. The restaurant scene is great out here. I've been really, that's really surprised me. I didn't think I'd have that out here. Just Florida as a whole is really special. No, I'm enjoying taking little day trips to different towns out here, and I'm loving it so far, but it's just a start. There's so much for me to explore still. And that's another big part that I'm excited to be here for.
I think, we're seeing clearly so many more tourists coming to visit, and we're breaking records with hotel occupancy, which I know you're already seeing.
Yeah.
Even in the summer months, coming up, but also with people moving here.
Right.
like yourself.
Yeah. No, I'm one of many. I meet newbies like me all the time, and we're all just excited to be here. There's a few cities like Tampa that are seeing a lot of city transplants. But it's great to be welcomed by everybody, and everybody truly is welcome. That's another fun thing I like about Tampa, is that I go to the grocery store and I just start chatting with someone I've never met before, and all of a sudden, we're friends for the moment. And that's not something that you see in a lot of the bigger cities.
Yeah, it's such a warm, wonderful, engaging city.
It is.
Speaking of things, though, and celebrations, you do not physically have the Michelin key yet, right?
We don't have the physical key. No. I keep joking that when we get it, I need a photo op in front of the hotel door with it, like we're unlocking the door. But we don't have that quite yet. Hopefully it comes soon, though. I want to see what that looks like.
Well, I bring it up because I think there should be a photo op, because what a gem. And that is certainly part of Unlocking Tampa Bay.
Oh, bringing it all together. Love it. Love it.
And Brendan, thank you so much. You certainly are now a Tampa treasure yourself.
Oh, wow.
Here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Serena. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. We could not be so successful without our partners. If you're interested in becoming a partner or learning more about the gems of Tampa Bay, we encourage you to head to visitampabay.com. On behalf of President and CEO Santiago Carrata, I'm Serena Fazan, and this is Unlocking Tampa Bay.